Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and welcome back to the Rockies franchise. We're just over 60 games in on the season. We just finished up the MLB draft, but we're sitting here at 16-38. The rebuild is officially beginning. But we have one of our cornerstone pieces now in the last draft that we just had last episode, Mohamed Willingham. He is a power bat at first base, and he also can play catcher as well, but his fielding isn't that good, so I'm not sure I will put him at catcher at all. I think he's strictly a first baseman. Now, the one guy that we've been looking forward to this year moving up is Will Benson. He is 74 overall, 23 years of age, a potential right now after winning the position player of the year last year in our minor leagues. Those players get boosts, position players of the year, pitchers of the year in our minor league, and also just minor leaguer of the year. So we will move up Will Benson to face the Pirates for the first time in his career. Here he hits one to the right side, and his first at-bat being moved up here is just a ground ball out. Now, Will Benson's going to be a guy that's going to wow you with his power on his bat. The ball just jumps off of it. He's going to hit near the top of the lineup more than likely throughout his career. And here in his second at-bat, he swings and misses. That is Ponce on the mound, and he gets him to swing and chase at a changeup. If there's one hole you can poke in Will Benson's game is that he does strike out a lot, but he does have that power. As here you see in his fourth at-bat, this one is to the right center gap, and there it is, the first hit since being moved up. It's not his first hit in his MLB career because he did play a little bit last year with the September call-ups, and he goes deep to right field. That's the potential that I want to see with him. That's what we're missing in this lineup. So 1 for 4 here as this one actually moves on to the bottom of the 10th inning. We had actually runners on second and third there with no outs and did not score a run. But here he is in his fifth at bat. He hits one to the left side, and that one will just move the runner over to third base as Iglesias slides in. Let's see if Charlie Blackman can come through here. Bottom of the 10th inning. Man on third. This one's a deep fly ball, and that one has enough carry. That one should be deep enough to score Iglesias, who's got decent speed at shortstop, and that one will score it. We win this game 4-3 versus the Pirates. We haven't been doing much winning, so it's good to see us have a nice win here in Will Benson's debut at the MLB level, and I really love that. And looks like Charlie Blackman is the hero in this game. 0 for 3, but with a sacrifice fly when it counts. Jose Iglesias 2 for 5 in this game. He is hitting phenomenal this year as he leads our team in average, on base percentage, and hits and RBIs. So then we move on a little bit and play the Nationals as we get into a situation where Robert Stevenson has a chance to close this one out. I think we're just evaluating the entire team right now, but I think Stevenson is an important part going forward as here he is facing the Nationals with a man in scoring position. We get the ground ball, and it's a double play. We come out of this one with a victory. That was a close one at first, but 6-5 here. It's always good to win on the road. And Iglesias and Rodgers playing short and second. I think they're developing some chemistry. I definitely want to see what Rodgers has. I'm not sure if I will move him at the trade deadline because I want to give him at least his shot at the majors. So we'll see probably how this year plays out before deciding whether or not he's going to be a key piece going forward. We move on to the end of June, and we want to see what Will Benson has once again. Here he hits one down the left field line, just misses. A double on that one. And facing Luis Perdomo on the road versus Milwaukee, he hits a low pitch, and that one is right on the screws. But a good play by the second baseman that time, and that is thrown on to first. We move on to the 6th inning. Will Benson here is 0 for 3 in this game, now facing Eric Lauer. He hits one to the left side, and that one gets down right before Yelich can get to it. And there we go, Will Benson getting a hit. He has been doing okay so far. I am not expecting him to, shake the earth or anything or make this groundbreaking show appearance at the show, but we'll see what he can do this year. I think next year will be his year to really shine. But one thing I love about him is that he is still progressing, so that is a good thing. And we end up winning this game on the road here versus the Brewers, and we get Jacob Junis the win out of the bullpen. He had 2 strikeouts and only 1 innings pitched. Charlie Blackman gets player of the game. He had 2 walks and a single. So coming out of that game, we have our first trade offer of the season, and it's a familiar trade partner of us this season, this series, because we did get Miguel Andujar from the Yankees earlier in the offseason last year, and they want Jermaine Wetzel, our number 1 overall draft pick last season, and I think that dealing him for a C potential relief pitcher, 72 years old, or 34 years old, 72 overall, just not doable. That's 100% no on that trade. So now we hop into another situation with Stevenson. I definitely want to evaluate him at the closing position. You know, Trez Jenkins was our minor leaguer of the year last year, and he is a very good closer. So I want to see what Stevenson has as his potential grows as a closing pitcher. We'll have to see. He was in the bullpen last year. I had Ozuna there for a little bit, moved Stevenson there for a couple of games. So I want to see what he does here. So we get it to a 2-2 count. And Seattle, down by 1, pops one up to center field. Hampson, who has moved over to center field, that is one of his secondary positions. He camps under that one, and it is a win. And a good one here. Stevenson, 2 saves here in this episode. It's his 12th save of the year. Jose Iglesias, 3 for 5 in this game, and so was Will Benson. Very good game from them. How about Iglesias in this one? 2 doubles, 4 RBI, and we get the win. So at the end of June, we played the San Francisco Giants, and I honestly thought that this would kind of be the battle for last place in this division because, you know, since we weren't off to a very good start, I thought that the Giants would kind of be worse than us, but it's actually been the opposite. We're really bad, and they're actually not too bad. So here we are at Oracle Park here on the road. Let's see if we can get a win here in the top of the 9th inning, come back down by 1. Here is Charlie Blackman at the plate facing Reyes Maranta, and he will take that pitch on the inside as that brings up Ryan McMahon, a guy that I put on the trading block. He's hitting about 200 on the year, and for a 4-hitter to only hit 4 home runs, that's just not good. So he works it to a 2-2 count here, and with the man on first base, he swings and misses at a changeup on the outside part of the plate. That one was just out of the zone. He chased it a little bit. So that brings up Danny Santana, who has been a decent signing for us. I didn't expect him to be a starter, obviously, which he is not, and I just wanted him to fill the gaps as needed. And here he works it to a 2-2 count, and he is too early on that inside changeup. And Blackman on first base. Nobody's brought him over to second, and now that brings up Brendan Rodgers with 2 outs. And now he works it to a 2-2 count once again. You got to think that changeup is coming here on this pitch. The pitch is on, and it was a changeup. This one in the dirt, and we chase it, and that will be the game. San Francisco beats us here at home at Oracle Park. We lose this one in the battle of the worst teams in the division, 1-0. We're just not producing runs. I think that is one of our biggest Achilles heels this season. We're just not producing runs at all. And how about Jose Barrios? That is his 9th loss of the season. Can you believe it? So we get another trade offer for Jermaine Wetzel coming out of that game. I guess he's a hot commodity. He's a first-round pick. We did put him on the trade block, so maybe that's exactly why. But they want to trade us a 23-year-old second baseman, the Kansas City Royals, and Jimmy Govern, only hitting .213 at AAA. This is a definite no from me, and he's very, very similar to who we already have in Brendan Rodgers. I mean, I don't see many differences, so I'm going to say no to that. So this is how our month of June looks. I mean, we kind of are what we are at this point. We're 27-48. You know, we're about halfway through the season, and you can just see we just cannot have any. We don't have any consistency. We even lost 17-1 versus the Dodgers, the 29th there on the schedule, and we just haven't been doing well. Our pitching isn't doing well. Jose Barrios is not pitching well. German Marquez is actually pitching decent along with John Gray, but I think that we just need help across the board, like bullpen, rotation, our offense, everything. And this is an area that we're truly, truly lacking. Home runs. We're 29th in the MLB right now. And how about Jose Iglesias leading us in home runs? That is ridiculous. A guy that's not even a home run hitter that leads our team in home runs. And Will Benson already has 6. He's only been up for like, what, a few weeks now? So that is not a good sign. Jose Iglesias is having an all-star year, though. He will probably be our lone all-star this season, hitting .325. He is absolutely doing phenomenal. The on-base percentage is amazing, .372, slugging at .493. Obviously not slugging too high, but leading our team in RBIs, home runs, hits, on-base percentage, average, everything. And he has been quite the signing. You know, we're going to make some good signings. We're going to make some bad signings. We're going to make some good trades and some bad trades. That was 100% a home run. Jose Iglesias, our shortstop, and he's also getting better. But speaking of maybe not getting better, Charlie Blackman, he's getting older. He's moving over to left field this year, and you got to think that maybe even moves over to first base next year, depending on what our team looks like. Now, Ryan McMahon is definitely having the most disappointing year. He's hitting .200. On base percentage is .268. Only 4 home runs. Even the extra base hits. He only has 9 extra base hits. He has 5 doubles, 0 triples, and 4 home runs. That is just not going to cut it. Now, Garrett Hampson, I really like the year he's having. I was actually on the fence about Garrett Hampson. I thought that he could be a guy that maybe we can get a lot back in trade, but now I don't want to trade him. .268, .344 on base percentage. He's actually doing very well. Now, he is not a good stealer. Even though he has 95 speed, he's got caught stealing 7 times and only has 9 stolen bases. I mean, that kind of sucks, but it's kind of something that we're just going to have to live with. Raimel Tapia is doing terrible. We moved him back up to the majors just for depth, but he's definitely not starting. He's hitting .190. Buster Posey, his average is down to .231. Danny Santana, .215. Jonathan Daza is down there as well. Eric Gonzalez is actually hitting pretty well. We signed him just for depth, but he's actually doing better than our starters right now. And then there's Brendan Rodgers, who we moved up. Man, I mean, how disappointing is Brendan Rodgers, hitting .193. Will Benson's hitting down there as well, but I'm not too worried about him. He's only playing in his 17th game this season. But Brendan Rodgers hitting really badly. I mean, I just don't know what to do with him. I'm going to let the season play out, then decide then what I want to do with him. I'm not going to trade him unless I get an unbelievable offer for him before the trade deadline. Now, pitching-wise, I am just so disappointed in Jose Barrios. We kind of gave up a king's ransom for him. We traded Antonio Senzatello, who was actually a decent starter for us at the time, Ryan Rollison, and then Sam Hilliard, who is a starter in the outfield. So we actually gave up quite a bit for him. And Rollison, we gave up one of our best left-handed pitching prospects. So he's definitely one of the guys that I'm thinking about trading at the trade deadline. The experiment just hasn't worked. So I need to do something to kind of salvage that trade and see what we can get for him. Now, I talked about Robert Stevenson a little bit, but, you know, his whip is at .219. I mean, it is very bad. And I don't know what I want to do right there, because if you think about it, you know, we don't have a true closer at the MLB level right now. We have a future in Trez Jenkins and Noah Sayer, who are both at the AAA and AA levels respectively, but I just don't know right now. Now, just looking at the evaluation of this team, I don't really know the direction that we want to go, just because, you know, we have a lot of question marks, like Brendan Rodgers only hitting .193. I just don't know what I can do with him right now. I need to give him a shot, but we'll have to see. So moving on to a possible trade here, Ryan McMahon is a guy that I've talked about. I don't know exactly what I can get for him. He is B potential, 74 overall, but is 27 years old, under cost control, only for one additional year after this one. So if I want to get rid of him, he probably has higher value now because of him not being a free agent next season. But I do want to see what I can get for Jose Barrios. Now, Barrios is a good starter. He's going to go to a contender. I'm going to make this a realistic trade. I want to get him to a contender who really does want to make a playoff push or a push for a World Series. And I look at the trade suggestions we get here for prospects, but I'm not seeing anything that's really intriguing. I do see a couple of intriguing offers, but then I look at the Yankees. I mean, they have been a team that we've traded with quite a bit, or at least negotiated with, and they actually offer a pretty good offer here. Anthony Siegler, who is a good catcher. We don't really have a future at catcher that's close to the majors, and I'd say he's probably 2 years away anyway. Rafael Marchand is our only real catching prospect, but he's still like 3 years away. Maybe even 4 years away. Who knows? So I decided to sweeten up the offer a little bit. I offer up Jamison Hanna, put him also in trade because he's having an all-star level year at the AAA level. He's definitely surprising some people in our organization, but we have so many outfield prospects. As you guys have pointed out, we have Hitor Takahashi, Eric Pena, and we also have Zach Veen and Will Benson. And then we add some of our guys that we drafted to the fold as well. And I want to see the trade suggestions we get for these two together. Now, we get a couple of intriguing offers here. You can just see we want to get MLB ready talent, but I want that to be young MLB ready talent. Bo Naylor is there. He is a catcher that is 20 years old. Very good offer right there. Chris Bubich as well. He is very, very good. And then we get an intriguing offer for Harrison Bader. Now, he is a center fielder. Excellent fielder. I mean, this guy is as good as it's going to get in this game. I mean, you're not going to get a better defensive outfielder than Harrison Bader. He's got excellent speed. He gets on base because of that speed, and he's hitting .299 this year. I mean, just excellent player right here. He is 27 years old, and his contract isn't friendly because he's going to have to be paid soon. So I move on to another trade. Darwin Hernandez is a very good relief pitcher, a lefty who has 96 strikeouts per nine. His issue is his control. He has 33 walks per nine. That is not that good, but you know, he's having a 141 whip year. It's not great. And then they also offer up Michael Chavis, who is excellent with his power, but as far as production, it's not really lining up with his ratings. 190 hitting this year, 253 on base percentage. I just can't get a guy that's going to be like the guys we have on our current roster. But then the third trade offer we get is Keston Hiura. I love this offer. He's hitting .290 this year, 382 on base percentage. I mean, he is doing quite well, slugging at .564, 946 OPS. This would instantly help our team right now and in the future. I say right now because we just need hope. I think that Charlie Blackman is not doing well because the rest of our players aren't doing well, so it kind of brings him down. But Keston Hiura is 25 years old. He's got a whole lot of MLB time left in him, and he could be a cornerstone piece. And how about pairing him with Mohamed Willingham in the future? Willingham is going to be a first baseman. Keston Hiura is also a first baseman in real life, and he plays second base right now in the game, so I would move him over to first. And looking at how the Brewers look, they are in first place by one game, a very tight race, and they need a number 3 or number 4 starter in the rotation to kind of fest off the Cubs and the other teams in the NL Central. So I decide to make our first trade of the season here. Jose Barrios, the experiment did not work, and we will get Keston Hiura from the Milwaukee Brewers. I think this is an excellent trade. Ryan McMahon is just not working at first base. He's going to be moved down to AAA to hopefully get his bat right and maybe even prevent him from getting hurt. So this is what our lineup looks like now versus right-handed hitters. Garrett Hampson having a tremendous year. It's not obviously all-star level, but about what I would expect from him, which I like a lot. He's getting on base and really improving at that leadoff spot. And then Keston Hiura will hit in the 4 spot behind Iglesias and Blackman. I really love what he's doing. He's also on fire, so he comes over to our team with a little bit of a hot streak. Will Benson moves down to the 5th spot. And then I decide to move up Josh Fuentes. He was at the AAA level. I have no idea why it's not showing his AAA stats here, but he was hitting about 260 at AAA. Want to see him moved up. I want to see what he's got. I haven't really put him on the trade block because I've actually liked Fuentes. He has a good arm. He's a good fielder. He's actually he has a good fielding, but not a good arm, I should say. So then versus left, this is what the lineup looks like. It's not much difference except Josh Fuentes moved up to the 5. And then Elias Diaz is actually going to platoon with Buster Posey because Buster Posey is actually on a cold streak, but Diaz is barely hitting over 200. And then Rodgers will hit last in front of the pitcher. I also decide to move up Austin Gomber. I think that, last year he had such a bad year that I need to move him down to AAA to get him some work there. But I think now he's progressing and he is ready to come back up. He's went up in overall, I think 1 point, so he's at 78 overall. And I need to justify that Nolan Arenado trade. I mean, that was such a bad trade. So that's how we're going to end this episode. I definitely wanted to make a move here in this episode. And I want to make maybe one or two more because the rebuild is officially on. I want to take the youth movement route. I'm not going to sign the big free agents. I might sign a big one this year. Who knows? But we'll have to see. I don't know how the future is going to look and also what trade offers we're going to get. So we're not even close to contending right now. I mean, it is what it is, but we do get a nice piece in here. Let me know what you guys think of that trade. I really, really love it, and I think you guys will too. Adding another power bat to the lineup and a guy that hits for average as well. So hit subscribe, hit that like button. Next episode, we will get to the All-Star break and take a look at Hira in a Colorado Rockies uniform, so you don't want to miss that. So stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
I like getting money, I got time to get it. Target on me, so my car's a tenant. Dancing with the devil, I don't bargain with it. Bobbing in the dash, and the stick is with it. And I hit the 4-5 on the west side. But I'm from the east side, this how we slide. This how we ride, yeah, this how we ride.